In episode 955, Kozuki Hiyori decides to give Zoro her family's heirloom sword, Enma, a weapon passed down from her late father, Kozuki Oden. According to the princess, this is the only legendary sword that ever wounded Kaido in Wano. Kozuki Oden was a dual-wielding swordsman before being murdered by Orochi. He left his swords to his two sons. Momonosuke kept no Habakiri, and Hiyori inherited Enma. Both were forged by legendary Wano swordsmiths. Because Ryuma's Shasui is a national treasure of Wano, Hiyori proposes that Zoro return the sword to the kingdom. After some consideration, Zoro agrees to the exchange on the condition that after everything is over, he only wants to visit Ryuma's grave, with whom he once shared a connection at Thriller Bark. At Resetsu prison, the samurai are still being held captive, while Law unexpectedly escapes his handcuffs and defeats Basil Hawkins, revealing a traitor behind the scenes, most likely Scratchman Apu. The truth is revealed: Apu was originally under Kaido's command from the beginning. He led Kid and Hawkins into a trap with no escape. When Hawkins' chances of winning were zero, he was forced to surrender, leaving only Kid and Killer to fight to the end. Kaido usually doesn't kill those with strong wills, but instead tries to break their spirit to force them into submission. Kid's crew, however, is willing to do anything just to see their captain again. 6 days remain until the overthrow, while Luffy is still frantically training Ryuo. Kinman deciphers the coded message left by Yasui with 2 stripes on Habu's snake belly, thereby determining the rendezvous point at Tokajport, while the shocking news is announced that Kaido and Big Mom have formed their first alliance, an event powerful enough to shake the entire world. If you enjoyed this video, please support me by subscribing to the channel and liking it. In episode 956, when Momonosuke and Kinman hear that Kozuki Hiyori is still alive, the whole group is overcome with emotion. However, to avoid causing morale disruption before the great battle, Hiyori decides to stay in Ringo to await news of victory. Outwardly, she says this to avoid burdening everyone, but everyone understands that she is the same mischievous girl from years ago. Even Kinman is astonished by how much everything has changed after 20 years. When Sanji discovers that the beautiful girl is Momonosuke's sister, his attitude immediately changes, calling her brother-in-law affectionately. Meanwhile, Tenguayama Hitetsu brings the Enma sword, fulfilling Hiyori's wish, to Zoro. No Habakiri is lauded as a sword capable of cutting through hell, and when combined with Shasui, both belong to the group of 21 great swords. However, Momonosuke is not yet capable of using it, so Enma officially belongs to Zoro. Zoro tests the sword with a single strike, cleaving through an entire hillside. However, Enma continuously drains the user's haki, something only Kozuki Oden had ever fully mastered, making this sword a life-or-death challenge for any swordsman. According to Robin, Kaido's side has approximately 30,000 troops at Onigashima on the night of the festival, while the rebels only have over 4,000. Therefore, the plan shifts to a surprise attack, taking advantage of the rebel spirit and the participation of the Yakuza. Hitetsu reveals that Sandai Kitetsu, Wado Ichimonji, and Enma were all created by the legendary blacksmith Shimotsuki Kozaburo, while Orochi receives a false intelligence report about the rendezvous point, proving that there was a traitor within the organization. In episode 957, leaving the isolated nation of Wano, we shift to the outside world, where the Reverie World Conference has just concluded in its familiar chaos, and representatives from various nations are returning one by one. Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp escorted King Neptune and the royal family back to Fishman Island, while an important order directly concerning the kingdom of Alabasta was being executed. Big News Morgans are busier than ever as breaking news leaks reveal that someone died during the conference, and based on the silhouette depicted, many suspected was Sabo, despite the world government's attempts to silence him. Despite the threats, Morgans eliminated the government's henchmen, changed locations, and continued to release news, leaving the Revolutionary Army in disbelief, as Sabo's group sent to Mary GOEs had completely lost contact. Monkey D. Dragon couldn't believe the news. The villagers of Fuchsia, who had just rejoiced at Sabo's survival, were now plunged into panic, while his fate remained uncertain. Back in Wano, X-Drake contacted Kobe to report the situation, revealing his identity as Captain Sword. Kobe concluded that the Navy would be unable to directly intervene in the conflict. Meanwhile, Another shocking piece of news emerged when the Shichibukai system was officially abolished at the suggestion of Fujitora and other kings such as Riku and Cobra, forcing the Navy to confront top pirates like Boa Hancock, Mihawk, Buggy, and Edward Weevil head-on. And that wraps up our recap for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share it to support the channel. Make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you won't miss the next episodes of the Wano Arc Recap. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.